So the South African Fraud Prevention Services has warned taxpayers of the new trends where scammers lure taxpayers into a trap with an outstanding tax payment notice. Taxpayers receive a replicated SARS email regarding outstanding payments, therefore informing taxpayers that they cannot file for tax returns for 2024. So how do we spot the red flags that scammers are working overtime in this time? So to unpack this, we are joined by Nicolas Botha from the Tax Consulting South Africa. Nicolas, a good morning to you. So talk to me about whether or not we are seeing an upsurge this year in comparison perhaps to previous years with these scams, because they seem to be getting more and more creative.
Certainly. So we've definitely seen an upwards trend amongst our clientele, and obviously the SARS notices themselves are warning off that. So in comparison to last year, we're seeing a lot more items coming through, a lot of different attempts, and far more advanced scamming attempts at the moment.
Yeah. Okay. So what is this latest one that we're seeing? Scammers contacting taxpayers, impersonating SARS. What is it what's the latest that we're seeing?
Certainly. So, I mean, you've got your basic phishing scams that are out there, you know, the ones that are mocking SARS documents. They're copying them, they're sending it to taxpayers to say you need to pay now or your account's going to be suspended. So obviously those ones are quite concerning. And then we've also recently noticed more intent hacking scams. So as we're seeing the technological field grow, we're seeing hackers hack into your eFiling profiles, submitting fraudulent returns, getting fraudulent refunds paid out to them. So there is quite a variety of different scams at the moment. And obviously ranging in their complexities.
Sure. I'm just seeing here, I mean, just how sophisticated some of these scammers really are, right? When targeted taxpayers log on to complete their auto assessment, there have been cases where they're redirected to a proxy website.
That's correct. So there's proxy websites where you obviously then asked to fill in your credit card details. Other ones that we've seen is that they target those at higher risk. So elderly, those abroad, where they have disabled children that generate higher refunds. So they are doing much smarter attacks and very targeted at the moment. So they've clearly got knowledge on certain individuals as well.
Yeah, and then they're able to produce fake documents.
Correct, yes. So, I mean, the SARS documents have been replicated almost exactly of recent. So important to note is that SARS is not going to give you an account number. SARS has a special account details, you know, so if you're paying into what looks like a normal transactional account, it's likely that you're being spammed.
Okay, and this is what we need to look out for, right? Is that I'm reading here, scammers warn that failing to pay an amount to them by a specific date results in fines. So then you're almost put into pressure to make a payment of some kind.
No, certainly. So, I mean, there are times where if you don't pay SARS timeously, you know, they are going to penalize you further. They're going to charge you interest. But you need to double check that and verify it. So one needs to definitely have either a trusted tax practitioner or go into the e-filing profile to make sure that those documents are in order. Because
Sure.
In terms of payments, you can definitely generate those documents for yourself via your SARS e-filing portal.
Yeah, okay, so there's lots that we must look out for here, because if scammers are able to now produce a fake document that says that, you know, your rebate will be paid into your account, for instance, says there, where the sophistication level is really quite something. So give us a few formats that we need to be looking out for in the messages that we get, whether it be an email. So email addresses, what is a red flag?
So, I mean, if it's not coming from the sars.gov.za, that's definitely a red flag. You know, if it's got to just make sure it's legitimate. Unfortunately, we have seen a few that have almost replicated it. So that's not going to be your golden item. You definitely want to make sure, though, that you can select where SARS contacts you, you know. So if you've selected that you either want to be contacted by email or cell phone, that's two options you have. And then you can choose an email address that you want them to reach out to you at. So if it's not coming to that email address, that's a further red flag. If it's coming to you via SMS and you've chosen to have your correspondence via email, again, another red flag. And then, like I say, just make sure that the payment references also look legitimate. That would be, for me, the golden key is that are you paying into an official SARS account? And that SARS account you can go verify on the eFiling portfolio or with them as well.
Yeah, I'm just noting here, another red flag might be an email address that has the word refund or customer care in it, right?
Correct. Yeah. So SARS has specific contact details, and then again, it's how you choose to receive that information. And the majority of the items that they rather want you to go through the SARS eFiling portal rather than making these direct payments.
Okay, and where bank accounts are concerned, right? Because you might get an email that says, okay, well, this is SARS's bank account. If you owe this much, pay your penalty into this account, right? How do we know if that's real?
So that, again, is about verification. Log into eFiling portfolio, pull a statement of account from your personal profile, and that will tell you whether you owe this amount or not. So I would just double check everything that you do receive, and like I said, that can either be done through eFiling, or if you've got a practitioner that you then trust, they will have those details for you.
All right. Other scams to be cautious of over this period. I'm seeing threats of SARS issuing court summonses against taxpayers, threats of SARS blacklisting taxpayers, threats of SARS issuing stop orders on accounts, notice of correspondence relating to solar, notice of outstanding amounts owed to taxpayers. Is there a platform that we can use so we can stay on top of things? Because things happen so quickly and, we're under pressure to get all of this admin done now, but there are all of these threats.
Yeah, certainly. So from our side of things, I mean, it's difficult to manually check everything all the time, So we've got a tax check system. That system basically just reports to us on all these details. So your important registered details, the important non-compliance areas. So that is what we're using to try just combat the technological advances, and sending this report to us so that it says to you, okay, well, this is from SARS eFiling themselves. What exactly is going on? Where are you non-compliant? Because obviously those scam attempts that they're using and final demands and all that wording is legitimate SARS wording. There is potential that you do have a payment due or you've got a final demand. So they've just been smart enough to use those scary terms that SARS would typically use. So to differentiate really becomes difficult unless you're actively monitoring the SARS e-filing platform.
Okay, so SARS does not send HTM or HTML attachments. SARS will not ask for your credit card details. These are things that we need to highlight for everyone as we enter tax season. I see an email or an SMS come through on my phone and I'm already concerned. So there's an example, right? On the screen there, HR recommends your information, contact us. More, and then you are eligible for a refund of 18,000 Rand, SARS eFiling.cfd, all of these, and it says across the screen, and that's a scam. So if you see something like that, that is not legitimate. But tell me this, Nicholas, once I see this, what do I do? Whether it be the SMS or the email, what is my plan of action?
Yeah, I would say log into your eFiling profile, pull a statement of account and to see if you have a refund. Refunds typically will generate from a return submitted. So obviously that a lot of these scams are coming from those auto assessments.
Yeah.
So make sure that your auto assessment has been submitted and it has generated this refund. Because obviously if it hasn't generated any refund, you then automatically know that is a scam attempt.
Yeah.
And there's nothing sitting. So as soon as you log into eFiling, you pull your statement of account, that statement account will directly tell you if you've got something owing or outstanding. And typically the only step SARS would request in paying out a refund is to validate your banking details. The majority of the time that requires a SARS appointment, either virtually or at a branch. So they're not going to ask you for your credit card details to now pay you out a refund. I mean, that's an immediate no-go there.
Yeah. So great examples there of what they may look like when they arrive on your phone or email. Nicholas, thanks so much for speaking to us. This has been a really important discussion and hope that we are all vigilant as we enter tax season. Nicolas Botha is with the tax consulting South Africa there, bringing us up to date with the latest SARS scams, or tax scams rather,